Okay, let's have a look. So today we are going to look at prepositions. Okay, in case you don't know what prepositions are, they tell you the direction a verb is going in, or they tell you the way, or rather, the frequency of a verb. They could tell you more about the timing of a verb. They could tell you more about how a verb is being performed. Those are what prepositions are. And we're going to have a look at their uses today as well. That's the main thing we're going to cover today for grammar. Okay. Of course, we have our usual vocabulary MCQs, vocabulary cloze, and grammar cloze as well for everyone's practice. So let's have a look. So, they skipped the rules page. Please leave your cameras turned on at all times. You all know the rules, okay? Zoe, please leave yours on as well. Thank you. All right, so first up, we're looking at vocabulary MCQs. Don't eat your food too quickly, or, oh, here comes Catherine. Okay, don't eat your food too quickly, or you might choke. Okay, so that's obviously the answer here. Those of you who did it online, all of you got this one correct. I think it's quite impossible to get this one wrong, actually. Everyone knows it's choke, right? The difference between choke and strangle, choke for choke, right? You do it to yourself. Strangle someone else does it to you. And strangle is more like a someone placing their hands around your throat and just like tightening it so you can't breathe properly, right? That's strangling. Whereas choke, right? Choke is when normally when you swallow something. Maybe too big, or too maybe spicy, right? Such that you choke on the food. So when you choke, all right, sometimes it's because your the muscle controlling the passage into your lungs and into your stomach, right? The muscle isn't working very well, and people choke on that actually. So yeah, strangle, someone else does it to you. When you gasp, nothing to do with choking. It's more like, like you're taking in air, right? So it's definitely not gasp, and you definitely know it's not just a cough, right? It's choke. So a cough is when you're trying to like expel something out. A choke is when you feel it deep inside your throat and you can't get it out and you can't breathe properly. Okay, so all of you got this one right, those of you who did it online. And I'm going to add the points for those who did it online. I didn't get the answers from Toby and Nicole for this one because the both of you were late. So I can't give you the answer I can't give you the marks for this, okay? So that would be Zoe, Siyu, Sanvi, Clarice, and Kat. 1 point for the first vocabulary MCQ. And also, boys and girls, or rather boy and girls, let me show you what a diagram of what the human throat looks like so you can see why sometimes people choke. All right. So, oops. Oh, not this kind of choke. Human choke diagram. Okay, so here's what the whole issue is basically. Now, when you open your mouth, right? Yeah, sometimes it's the food going down the windpipe. That's good, Nicole. Sometimes it's that the food is blocking you from breathing properly and you can't swallow the food properly. So basically, when you open your mouth, okay, and you look into the mirror, You can go check it out after I show it to you, right? If you look in the mirror and you say ah, and you have a very bright light shining down into your mouth, right? You can see your tonsil at the end of it. It's like a little hanging thing at the back of your mouth. All right. It's actually a sensory organ, all right, that triggers the swallowing reflex. When it goes past and brushes your tonsil, you feel like your muscles contracting and then trying to swallow stuff. Now, here's the problem, all right? There's this other muscle over here that's called an epiglottis. I'm circling it in green. Now, this epiglottis is in charge of making sure that your food and your air go down the correct way. So if it's food, your food is supposed to go down. Okay, let's say food is purple, all right? Food is supposed to go down this way, all right, into your esophagus. Esophagus means your throat. Whereas your air is supposed to go down in pink over here. Air is supposed to go down this way into your trachea. All right, and the trachea goes into your lungs. The esophagus goes into your stomach. So the problem comes when your epiglottis sometimes malfunctions, or when something is too big and it's blocking out the entire area over here. That's when you start choking. All right, choking is a reflex of you trying to get that piece of food out before it goes down your trachea or before it continues blocking the air from entering your lungs. You do know that humans can only hold their breath for a maximum of approximately 3.5 minutes, right? So if within 3.5 minutes you don't get that piece of food out, you are probably going to die from asphyxiation, which is suffocation, basically. Okay, not a nice way to go. So when you chew your food, all right, that's why people always say when you eat your food, all right, swallow first properly and then talk. Don't talk with your mouth full. There's always a reason. Okay, when you talk with your mouth full, what happens? When you talk, you need air to go into your trachea so you can push the air out when you talk. All right. Don't believe me? Say some words now and put your hand in front of your lips. Yeah. Do you feel some wind going onto your hands? When you speak in English, especially for the S sounds and the P sounds, the P sounds and the Q sounds, right? All these sounds make air. Where does the air come from? Obviously, the air comes from your lungs, doesn't it? So when you're speaking, what's happening? Your epiglottis is moved the other way so that it's open for your nose, all right, and for your trachea to push, right, the air out. So that also means if you try to swallow when you are talking, the food might end up going into your lungs instead of your stomach. All right. It's a very scary structural issue for all humans because our nose and our mouth are connected. You can suck something from our nose in and then you can cough it out into your mouth. Same thing. You can swallow something into your mouth and you can sneeze it out through your nose. I'm not sure whether you have looked at your baby brothers and sisters before. Sometimes the milk goes into their mouth, right? But they can sneeze the milk out from their nose. You've seen it before, right? Okay, this demonstrates to us perfectly that the nose and the mouth and the stomach and the lungs are all connected at this interval over here. This entire interval over here. Whoops, wrong shape. All right, this interval over here, they're all connected. So you don't want anything happening at this interval, do you? Yes, Nicole learned it during science. Very good. So therefore, all right, the answer for question 1 is actually choke. Okay? And you learn something a little bit more about the world as well, maybe about your body, right? How your nose and your mouth are all connected as well. And I've seen some really funny students when they try to blow the balloon, all right, they can't concentrate their muscles properly. So when they're blowing through their mouth into the balloon, right, actually air is escaping through their nose. That's why the balloon can't be blown up. Oh, it's quite funny. Cha, the balloon cannot become big. Cha, the balloon spoiled already. I said, no, your mouth is the one that's spoiled. Okay, let's go on to the next question. That was pretty funny. Anyway, So for this one, the people who have answered online, right? Catherine got it wrong, Sanvi got it wrong, and Zoe got it wrong. You have to give me the answers again. And of course, Toby and Nicole have to give me their answers if they want to win some marks as well. Yes, Zoe, you're correct now. Catherine, you're right now as well. Good. Nicole, you're correct. So waiting for Toby and Sanvi. What should the answer here be? Fina what in pain as she picked up the water bottle that had rolled off the table and landed on her foot. Toby is correct. Sanvi is unfortunately wrong. The answer here is actually winced. Now, when we wince in pain, it's an expression, right? Literally, it's an expression on your face. It's a human expression when you wince. When something painful happens to you, your face goes like this. That's a wince right there, like ouch. That's a super wince, right? But normally a wince is like a smaller. It's kind of like kind of like ugh, right? Not the really painful kind, like someone cut your fingers off, that kind. No, no, no. It's more like something heavy dropped in your foot. You're like that kind. It's like a wince. Okay. So Fina winced in pain as she picked up the water bottle. Okay, so the answer here is A. Now, can she pace in pain? Yes, she can walk around in pain. Maybe she could shout, ow, 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 as she tried to walk it out. That's called pacing, right? Pacing means like you're walking around in a very regular way, right? Like you take the same route over and over again, right? You pace around. Maybe you're in a small room or something, so there really isn't anywhere for you to go. So you're just pacing. That could be possible. But the better answer here is still wince, because we know that wince is always connected to pain. When people feel pain, they wince. Okay, so that's Fina wins in pain. Definitely not paced in pain. Can someone limp in pain? Right. That they can limp in pain, and limp is actually a very good word that links together with pain at all times as well. When you're limping, it's either one leg is in a lot of pain or that leg has become numb or something. That's why you're limping. You can't walk properly. You're like walking like a zombie, right? You're limping. Okay, but over here, why can't we say limped in pain? Because of this part here. It says, as she picked up the water bottle that had rolled off the table. So she can't pick up the water bottle and limp at the same time. Yeah? Unless she's very good. She's like walking and picking stuff, like walking and picking stuff at the same time. Like, oh, that's crazy, man. Nobody does that, right? So the best answer here is for her facial expression to change only. Her body is actually bending down to pick up the water bottle. Okay, so we can't say limped. And you can't say heaved in pain over here as well. To heave something is to exert a lot of force. Like you heaved the heavy chair onto the table, or you heaved the huge sack of rice, right, into the storage cabinet. So that's what we use heave for, right? To exert a lot of strength in moving something upwards. You heave it. Okay. So let me just add the marks for everyone here. So basically, everyone got it right, but unfortunately, Sanvi guessed it wrong. So everyone gets the mark except for Sanvi. And Catherine wants a Shamalama Mumu, sure. Okay. Oh yes, where were we? Yes. I was about to show you someone wincing. So you can remember, right? When you wince, it's an expression of pain, like ugh, ah, ugh, right? So that's a wince going on over there. This lady is wincing because she has a toothache or something. I'm assuming this guy has a toothache as well. That's why he's wincing in pain. This guy probably, strained his leg too much, and now he's experiencing some muscle spasms, right? So these are all basically like winces. Now this one looks more like Mr. Joel, right? So So these are wincing expressions, all right, normally associated